It seems like Kevin Hunter lives in some kind of fairy tale where a fairy godmother, aka Wendy Williams, will always come to his rescue and shower him with gold, because he relentlessly keeps beating the bushes trying to persuade judges that he is somehow entitled to Wendy's riches. After tremendously losing in court and turning himself into a laughingstock in the press and on social media, Kevin sets his hopes on another judge and publicly shares why he continues dragging his ex-wife to court. Hi everyone, and welcome back to CELEB Live channel. We keep our eyes on the most scandalous events in show business and always bring you the hottest updates. Well, Kevin Hunter has created enough drama, but his audacity has crossed all the lines. Not only he plans to sue Wendy again after losing in court, but he also openly claims that he won't stop until he gets at least half of her millions. And you've got to believe us when we say you don't want to miss this story. Stay with us until the end of this video because we have some shocking revelations right here. Despite being rejected by the judge and getting any alimony payments from Wendy, Kevin Hunter hits the headlines with audacious statements, saying, "As the husband for 20 plus years and the creator of the Wendy Williams show, I was entitled to my half of everything that we had, just like any other couple divorcing." What an appetite this man has. So, ruining Wendy's life and health was not enough for him because Kevin was already planning his retirement in peace and luxury and considered his spousal support as a well-deserved pension. Well, the court had another opinion and left Kevin with nothing. But it seems that his situation is quite desperate right now because this alimony was his only source of income. Kevin repeatedly stated that he had fallen behind on his bills, but this tale of woe didn't convince the judge. According to the press, in a surprising development to come weeks after Wendy's ex claimed he is broke and cannot pay his bills, a New Jersey judge found Kevin's demands were not emergent and ordered the recent application to be dismissed without prejudice. While most people would already give up at this point, Hunter is not the kind of guy to let this careless lifestyle go that easy. And unfortunately for Wendy and luckily for him, the dismissal without prejudice means he can file again. And something tells us that this is exactly what he is going to do, especially with his recent statements. But Wendy's legal team, which already celebrates their first victory, is confident that Kevin will lose again because he has no solid reason to demand any more alimony from his unemployed ex-wife. According to Wendy's lawyer, Kevin understood and agreed that all severance payments shall be subject to either termination or modification if Wendy's contract was not renewed and are otherwise suspended, canceled, or terminated. While he understood and agreed with all that on paper, in reality, Kevin has a hard time trying to embrace the idea that the gravy train has stopped and has to do something to earn money. In his interview with the West Side Gazette, Kevin claimed that the show ended because he was no longer on the production team. The man basically stated that the entire show had fallen apart without him. He said, "It's clear to say that after I left, the show tumbled hard. My intellectual property of the creation of the Wendy Williams show and how it had to come across was key. They would not have experienced the success they had without me." Well, if that's true, why don't we see another TV star rising under his guidance? Because apparently it's nothing more but Kevin's opinion. One fan was sincerely enraged by these statements and wrote, "What the hell? Kevin should now be in the Guinness Book of Record for zero integrity, audacity, and dignity as a man. He needs to turn Sharina into a winner with his so-called talent. He didn't realize Wendy was his everything, not the other way around." Do you agree with this comment? Share your opinion below. But it's unlikely that Kevin Hunter will ever read them because he couldn't even properly read his divorce papers where the terms of his spousal support were discussed. Despite knowing that his ex-wife is not in her best state right now, physically, mentally, and even financially, Kevin Hunter files one petition after another nonstop. He doesn't even consider the fact that Wendy was working alone and supporting at least 5 people at the same time, herself and her son, plus her ex and his new family. And apparently, it's not only Kevin Hunter who suffers from financial problems because of Wendy's frozen accounts. The media reported that their son, Kevin Jar, was evicted from his apartment in Florida for failing to pay the rent. And you are naive if you think that this is where the caring and loving father, Kevin Hunter Sr., stepped in. Apparently, the man didn't even consider helping his elder child deal with financial hardships. Instead, he went online with his own sob story and blamed Wendy for cutting him off. So, your 22-year-old son, who is also a full-time student, is basically homeless somewhere in Miami, but you drag your sick ex-wife to court instead just because you, the grown-up person, cannot pay your utility bills? Talking about priorities, right? Well, Kevin does have a new family now and plans a bright future for himself with Wendy's millions. But honestly, this is a poor excuse to cross all the possible lines of shame. But even if there was the slightest chance that Wendy wanted to continue sponsoring Kevin's new family, she is not in control over her finances because last year she was placed under financial guardianship. And it was not hers, but her guardian's decision to stop sending monthly checks to Hunter. Kevin had enough time after the divorce to establish himself as the head of his family and become a provider for his mistress and love child. But instead, he made everyone, including himself, believe that their day-to-day living can be generously funded by Mrs. Williams. We don't know about you, but for us, it seems like Kevin cannot sink any lower than this. The absence of any honor and self-respect pushes this man into wreaking more havoc. But let's see what people think about this situation. One person wrote on Twitter, "Thank God, the days of the parasites living off of Wendy are over." And as for Kevin crediting himself for the success of Wendy's show, all I can say is, ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. Another fan said, "I'm glad that Kevin Hunter and his Dinny Dame can no longer leech of Wendy Williams." And here's another opinion. Kevin Hunter, you were never a celebrity couple with Wendy Williams. You were always nothing more than a cheating leech. I pray the courts make you leave Wendy alone and get a job. You, homewrecker Sharina, a lawyer's representing you should be ashamed. God doesn't like ugly. Well, we hope that the next judge will decide wisely again because no one, except for maybe Kevin, believes that he deserves any coin from his ex-wife. He will probably spend more money on attorneys than he can extort from Wendy. But that's not Wendy's concern anymore. Her legal team is prepared to fight for every dime. And what do you think about all of this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We are eager to know where you stand. And as always, make sure to give this video big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We'll be back very soon with the updates on this story.